I relocated from the UK to Kenya 3 years ago. And if I could go back and have a conversation with myself, some of them would have been saving me from being scammed. Some of the conversations would have saved me from losing a lot of money, stress, saved me from losing so much time, and most importantly, it would have saved me from losing £30,000 from my business. Now, don't get me wrong, relocating to Kenya was one of the best decisions that I've ever made. I absolutely love my life here. And you could not pay me, not even £1 million, to move back to the UK. So that's not the issue here. The issue is that I would have had a much smoother ride. Now, if you are thinking of relocating, whether it's to Kenya, other parts of Africa, Caribbean, or other parts of the world, you want to stick around for this video, because this video is going to save you thousands of pounds. It's going to save you stress, worry, and making costly mistakes that I did. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Afriye, and welcome to those of you who are returning again. I have been in business for more than 20 years, and I now help diasporans who want to relocate, but the problem that they're facing is they don't have the funds to relocate. That is where I come in. I help them to make money online, to build online businesses, to give them the funds to be able to travel around the world. Now, if that's something that you are interested in, I do have a school community of like-minded people, so feel free to join. The link is in the description below, down here, so make sure that you join. All right, so let's get into the video. Lesson number 1, Africa is a continent and not a country. Now, I know this sounds obvious to you, but hear me out here, right? So I was born and raised in London all my life, but I have been going back to Ghana, where my parents are from, all my life. In fact, my first business venture was shea butter. I was exporting shea butter, right? And so I know Ghana. I know the culture. I've traveled throughout West Africa and some parts of Africa. So when I landed in Kenya, I know it's Africa. Africa is Africa, right? And yes, there are some similarities, but there are a lot of differences. And a culture shock of mine was, when you land in Ghana, Nigeria, it's very loud, it's very vibrant. I didn't know how loud I was until I came to Kenya. Now, I remember when I went on a matatu. A matatu is the Kenyan bus, and I was talking, and people were looking at me like in shock. And I was thinking, why are people looking at me? Do I have boogies? What's going on? Not only to find out that it's because I'm so loud. Kenyans are very quiet. They speak very quietly. In fact, East Africa, when I went to Uganda, I was thinking, are these people actually talking? People are having conversations and I can't hear them. West Africans, Ghanaians, Nigerians. Oh, that's not the case. I could be on a bus in the UK. I could be downstairs and I can hear my Nigerian brother and sister speaking upstairs. That's how loud we are. So I know some of you find it difficult to believe, but I've actually quietened down since coming to Kenya. The culture's rubbing off on me. I was a lot louder than this, So it's one of those things that fascinates me about Africa, It's so diverse. Another culture shock was the food. I'm used to spice. I'm used to a lot of flavor. I'm used to a lot of things going on in one pot. When I came to Kenya, I was cooking. It was my turn to cook. So I went to the cupboard of a lady's house and I look in the cupboard, there's salt and something called Royco. So I'm saying, okay, where's the seasoning? Am I in the wrong cupboard? She said, that's it. I said, pardon? I couldn't believe it. She said, yeah, that's it. That's what we cook with. I was in shock. You go to a West African woman's cupboard, it is full of spice, flavors, and we use fresh flavorings as well. Ginger, garlic, onions, spring onions, saw pimento, wintia, all of these spices. There was none of that. So that was a culture shock. And then pepper. As far as I'm concerned, if you're African, you eat pepper. Not here. It's called pili pili, but it's something that is put on the side as a choice. Ghana, there's no choice. There's pepper in your food. And so I think my taste buds have actually dumbed down, because when I go back home to the UK, I'm eating my mum's food, I'm eating my auntie's food, and I'm like, it's peppery spicy because my taste buds are now kind of acclimatizing to the Kenyan culture. But all jokes aside, look, when you are planning your relocation, make sure that you put culture as part of your investigation. Come to the country, understand the culture, understand the customs and the ways, especially within business. It's going to help you and it's going to take you a long way. Number two, research the political climate, the laws, and the business ways. This is really important. A lot of you, when you are relocating, you're thinking about the flights, the location, the weather, the lifestyle, but you don't consider politics, law, business customs, really key. Now, at the time when I relocated, President Ruto came in power. I think it was 2023. Now, this mouth here has gotten me into a lot of trouble. So I will put my opinions about Ruto to the side, yeah? I don't want to get kidnapped. Let me keep it. Let me keep him out of my mouth. But anyway, the political laws you really got to consider because it will affect your everyday life. It's going to affect how you do business. The laws is going to affect your taxes, even down to things like your visa. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. With Kenya, it's 33% tax for foreigners. With Kenya, if you're buying land or properties, it's actually in your favor if you have a local have a percentage of some of your shares. I didn't know a lot of these things. It impacts you a lot. What about the currency? That can impact the way that you do business. Sometimes when it comes to Africa, laws can easily be changed or the political climate can change. So for instance, with Kenya, we had an issue with new taxes that was brought in and there was demonstrations. That affects me, the way we do business. So it's really important that you check out the political climate and also business as well. Like, for instance, Kenya, I find that there's a lot more red tape and paperwork than if I was to do business in Ghana. Remember, I told you my first business venture in Africa was exporting shea butter. There was not as much red tape than there is in Kenya. And Kenya, they will come for you. There is no hiding. Okay, they now are passing a law where they can have access to your M-Pesa. There is something called M-Pesa, which is how we exchange money or buy money or spend money on your mobile phone. They can have access to that. So if you're running a business, they will have access. So there's so many things that you have to research before you move into that country. Number three, be careful who you trust. Oh boy. Did I learn the hard way? Okay, so when you relocate or you're traveling the world, you are going to meet other diasporans. You're going to meet expats, people from where you are from. And I got excited. I was trusting. I was like, hey, I've met my people. I've met people who've has the same background as me, experience, culture. Because although I am African, whenever I go to Africa or I'm living in Africa, I'm still considered an outsider. It's really weird, okay? Although I'm melanated, the minute I open my mouth, I'm still considered as an outsider. Even Ghana, where I am from, I speak the Ghanaian language and I'm still a little bit of an outsider. I mean, I don't get offended by it because I get it, right? So you sometimes when you meet people who has the same background as you, you're really excited because finally you can identify with somebody, okay? And because of the excitement, you don't look out for red flags. You don't take your time with relationships. You just rush into relationships. And then you realize that some people are messed up. Listen, there are people who have trauma, who has issues, and they don't resolve those issues. They don't get healing, they don't get treatment, and they relocate. And they believe by relocating, it's going to fix them. They believe that by coming to the motherland and connecting with their ancestors, they're going to get the balance and the healing that they need. No, you're not. While you are in UK, America, Europe, sort out your issues. Sort out your issues. Get the therapy, get the healing that you need. Traveling is not going to solve that. Believe you me, and there are some people that I've met that have had drama and just a whole lot going on, which has caused me to be like, okay, The same way how I would look out for red flags while I was living in the UK is the same way I'm going to look out for red flags as well. So make sure that you apply the same principles. Otherwise, you are going to get burnt. And that same applies to locals. Now, I've been quite fortunate. I have the most amazing business partner. I have really good friends, even down to the person who is doing the camera right now. My camera guy, editing guy, he's amazing. So I've met incredible Kenyans. But at the same time, hey, I've been scammed. I've been lied to. I've had a whole lot going on. And that's the same as everywhere that you're going to go. But the thing is like when we relocate, it's like we leave half of our brains in the country that we're from. We just think that it's a whole new world. Like it's a whole new world and everything is kumbaya. No, you still have to have your wits about you. I'll give you an example. A lawyer that I had, he was referred to by the way, by a guy who has a restaurant. He's a business guy, referred me to this lawyer, that this lawyer is amazing. He will do all my visa because I came as an investor visa, as a business person, because I came to invest. So I took him on. Now, I got to find out he's not a lawyer. He's a broker. This is very common here in Kenya. So they take on your case, they, pass it on to the government, and the government will then do your visa and paperwork for you. That's fine. My visa was all sorted. The problem is that they can be greedy because now they're taking on other legal work, which they have no business doing so. They don't have the credentials or the qualifications to take on that work. So I gave him the job of, doing the legals for one of the properties that I bought. I got to find out he's not even a lawyer. So some of the paperwork was wrong and it cost me a lot of money. So it's really important that you ensure that you do your homework. Even if somebody refers you, still do your homework. I kid you not. There is a guy, you can look him up on Google, in Kenya who won over, I think it's almost 200 court cases, and he wasn't even a lawyer. And then when they took him to court, he won his own case. He represented himself and won his case only in Africa. So you've got to be really careful, okay, when you are traveling, apply the same rules as when you are in the UK, America, or Europe. Number 4, I wish I'd known and I wish I would have done it earlier. Yes, I wish I would have relocated in my 20s. If you are young, do it now. Honestly, don't wait. I wish I traveled the world a lot earlier. And you guys now, you have all the opportunities, you have all the tools, you have the technology to be able to do that. So I didn't, okay? I'm 48. I'm old enough to remember a telephone that was attached to a string, yeah? We didn't have mobile phones when I was growing up. Some of you don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm old enough to remember the cassette tape. So when I was in my 20s, these things wasn't available. Now you can be a digital nomad. You can work anywhere in the world. Go for it. Don't wait. In my travels, I have seen parents with their small children traveling the world, or they've relocated. I have seen a single mother who had a 6-month-old baby and she decided she wanted to travel the world. Like, what is your excuse? Schools are online now, yeah? There's homeschooling, there's communities. What is your excuse? Don't wait. Stop saying one day. Stop saying when my child is older. That's what I did. I waited until my son was 30, married, before I relocated. No, in fact, it could have enriched his life. Can you imagine if I traveled around the world with my son? Like, seriously, it is possible. You just need to know how. So don't put that block in your mind that you're waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't be irresponsible and not have a plan. You still need to have a plan in place. You still need to have a strategy in place. But don't let that be an obstacle. If you want to relocate and if you want to travel the world, you can do it. It's here. It's the mindset that you need to change, and you need to have that belief in yourself. And then you need to connect with people that's going to help you make it happen. Last but not least, I wish I built an online business before relocating. Now, when I was in the UK, I had a physical business. I had my wellness, beauty, skincare, and herbal shop. And I was loving it. That was what I did. My background is cosmetic science and herbal medicine. And so I thought I could replicate this coming to Kenya. So when I came, I had a massive vision of, having loads of shops. And so I set up a wellness shop, right, in the coast of Kenya. And I had to close the business 3 years later, lost £30,000. And in hindsight, it was too early. I didn't know enough of the business culture, the customs, the ways. It was too premature. And, you've got to think about things like stock. You've got to think about staffing. Staffing is going to be one of your biggest issues. Because remember, you may not speak the language. Okay? The way how you want things done may not be the way how they do things. There's a lot going on. The buying customs and the buying culture. One thing about where I am in Kenya is it is a price sensitive market. And what I mean by that, they do not buy on value, they buy on price. They will go to the next person, your competitor, because of 1 shilling. If they're 1 shilling cheaper, they will go there. Whereas I'm used to the buying habits in the UK where people buy because of value. You're giving them convenience. You're giving them nice packaging. You're giving them a better service. They buy on value. Here, you can package it as nice as you want. All singing, all dancing product. If somebody's product is not as nice as yours and it's 1 shilling cheaper, they will go there. So that was a shock to my system. And also with a physical business, you have to be there. If you can't leave your business, you will come back to no business there at all. This is Africa, okay? So you have to be there all the time. I'm somebody that I can't be pinned to one location. I need to be able to travel. In the UK, I could leave my business. Here, you always have to be there. Otherwise, your business will collapse. And so if you want to travel, if you don't want to be tied down to a business, I would never advise a diaspora to come and do business straight away. What I do advise is to build before you leave. You are in an amazing position right now. Your job is your first investment. Use your salary money to invest in your online business. It's not expensive anymore. Right now, you can get digital tools, AI tools that's going to help you build your business anywhere between £99 to £500. That's peanuts compared to when I was starting my business, when we didn't have AI and we certainly didn't have the internet. You needed a lot of capital to start a business. Right now, £99. And if you are really strapped for cash, social media is free. So while you are in the Western world, start building. Start doing your online business. Build your audience. Learn digital skills. Because when you have that and you've got the money coming in, all right, then you can live where you want. You can travel. If you need to get back to the UK, Europe, US, you can do that. Also, your business is not tied to a currency. That was a shock for me as well, because when a currency goes down, your business is affected. When there is issues politically and people are struggling, it's going to affect your business. Okay, I relied on the locals to come into the shop, but if there's a economic crisis, they ain't coming to my shop. Whereas if your business is online, you are not relying on locals. Your money could be coming from China. Your money could be coming from UK, America, from Holland. It could be coming from anywhere. So it's really important that you build before you leave. And also, having an online business, you have more time because you're not subjected to the shop is open at 9 o'clock. So you've got to rush and open the shop. No, you can build automations in your business. This is why I love AI. You can build automations that can be doing the work for you. You can be sleeping and somebody's ordering your product at 4 a.m. in the morning. Did you have to wake up at 4 a.m.? No. You simply just hear the money coming into your account. Cha-ching. That is why it's important to build an online business. And if I could have had the conversation with myself back then when I was relocating in 2023, I would have told avoid having a physical business. Now, so these are five things that I wish I knew. There are loads more, but I think these are the crucial ones that I wish I knew before coming to Kenya. Now, if you are listening to this and you want to relocate or you want to travel the world, you see yourself being a digital nomad. One day you're in Dubai, the next you're in Hong Kong, next you're in Sierra Leone or wherever you want to be. But you don't have the funds. You've looked at your bank account, you've looked at your paycheck, and you're like, this ain't going to happen. Let me tell you something, it can happen. When I wanted to relocate, I was broke. Yeah, I had a consulting business, and because of COVID, that flopped, and I had to rebuild again. So I was broke, but I made it happen. So don't despair. If you want to relocate, and if you want to travel, I'm telling you, you absolutely can. You just need a relocation plan and you need to build the funds to be able to do so. And that is where I come in. I've built a community to help you to build the funds, online income, so you can travel. And I give you the blueprint that I used to relocate. So if that is something that you are interested in, definitely click the link below. Join the community. I look forward to welcoming you. And what I'm asking you to do me a favor and subscribe, like, and share the video. All right. Until next time, guys, I will see you in the next video.